Mother-in-law, when you hear the phrase ex-girlfriend, it sounds quite strange and awkward, doesn't it? But in today's story, the situation turns out to be something very similar. This boy has rejected 42 girls in his life, not because they were unattractive, but because he used to look for 5 specific qualities in every girl. These were the same 5 qualities he once saw in his senior crush during his school life. One day, suddenly, he finally meets a girl who has all 5 of those qualities, and he even manages to win her over. But the real problem begins when he finds out that the girl's mother is none other than that same senior crush from his school days, the very person whose qualities he had been searching for in everyone else, and whom he still looks at with the same feelings of love. Now, if I were to give this video a title, one phrase kept coming to my mind, a name I got from a Bangla drama, when the ex-girlfriend becomes the mother-in-law. But don't take it the wrong way. The story is actually very fun. The movie's name is Sundara Kanda, and today I'm going to explain it from beginning to end. So let's get started with today's story. At the beginning of the story, this is Arjun, who is applying black dye to his hair to cover up his gray strands. He has grown quite old, yet he still hasn't gotten married. Just then, his father comes there and says, "What's the point of applying so much dye? I know you're about to reject this girl as well." For the past several years, this is exactly what Arjun has been doing. Whenever he goes to see a prospective bride, he never ends up liking any of them. Meanwhile, his father keeps waiting, wondering when his son will finally get married and let him see the faces of his grandchildren. But Arjun doesn't care about his father's wishes at all, because if he doesn't like the girl, there's no way he's going to marry her. After that, whenever his entire family goes to see a girl, the girl's parents stare at Arjun with wide eyes. And when they ask about it, his father explains that they had been given Arjun's younger photos earlier, but in reality, he now looks much older. At this point, Arjun has grown so old that many families reject him just by looking at his picture. Anyway, when the conversation moves a bit forward, the boy and the girl are allowed to talk privately. There, Arjun directly tells her, "Look, I expect 5 qualities from my future wife. If I find a girl who has those qualities, I will marry her with my eyes closed, no matter how she looks." The first of those qualities is that the girl should be able to express anything just through her eyes while talking to the person in front of her. There should be a unique expression in her gaze, so that one can understand what's in her heart just by looking into her eyes. In response, the girl says, "God has given us a mouth to speak. Why should I talk through my eyes?" Hearing this, Arjun immediately understands that this girl is not for him. Even so, he continues listing the rest of his expected qualities. Arjun then asks her, "If I give you a lot of chocolates as a gift, would you be happy?" The girl replies, "Yes, of course. Every girl likes chocolates." But our Arjun doesn't like girls who are fond of chocolates at all. He asks her again, "How many friends do you have? What is your friend circle like?" The girl answers, "I have only a few friends. I don't mix with people easily." Then he asks her further, "All right, can you write something for me?" The girl writes on a piece of paper, "You are very handsome." Arjun immediately realizes that she didn't write this from her heart. And Arjun prefers a girl who can write well, about anything, whether it's about a person, flowers, animals, birds, or any topic at all. After that, he doesn't even need to ask anything more, because while they're talking, a drop of water suddenly falls on her and she instantly bursts out in anger at the gardener. But our Arjun wants a very calm and composed girl in his life. So now, since the girl fails in every one of his expected qualities, he rejects her as well. As soon as he leaves from there, he receives a phone call. On the call, he hears that Shiva has finally been found. Hearing this, Arjun immediately heads to the given address. Back in school, it was because of this Shiva that he was forced to leave his school at that time. For so many years, he has been searching for him to teach him a lesson for what he did that day. What exactly happened that day? We'll find out in a little while. Now, when Arjun asks him to apologize, Shiva responds, "You come into my area and expect me to apologize to you?" Then he calls his men and they all rush toward Arjun, but our Arjun beats them all up and leaves them completely defeated. That night, he was discussing this whole incident with his friends. Even though Arjun had beaten them, he still didn't feel the satisfaction he had been waiting for all these years. Then, as their school life comes up in the conversation, Arjun starts telling the story of his first crush. From the reactions of his friends, it was clear that they had heard this story so many times that they were tired of it and didn't want to hear it anymore. But even then, he begins narrating the sad story of his life. The story now goes many years back. This is Vaishakhi.
Vaishakhi is Arjun's crush. She is his senior in school. Just like many other boys in the school, Arjun also likes her, and there are several reasons for that. Vaishakhi had the ability to read people's eyes. While everyone else in the school used to write random and meaningless things on the notice board, Vaishakhi would write beautiful and positive messages there. In those days when most girls would easily fall for someone if they were given chocolates, Vaishakhi would reject everyone's proposals. And she would never get angry at anyone. All those qualities that Arjun now asks about when he goes to see a prospective bride, those are exactly the qualities Vaishakhi had. He knows that he can never have Vaishakhi in his life. By now she's probably already married. That's why he now wants someone like Vaishakhi in his life. The story then returns to the present. But unfortunately, he still hasn't found a girl like that. That's why he hasn't gotten married yet, and his age keeps increasing. So now let's go back and understand those past events a bit more clearly. One day, Arjun gives Vaishakhi a gift. When her family sees it, they want to know who gave it to her. Her father then comes to the school to find out who the sender is. There, one of the boys reveals Arjun's name. After that, Vaishakhi's father beats Arjun and threatens him. From the very next day, he was warned not to come anywhere near Vaishakhi, not even to the school itself. And the boy who had revealed Arjun's name back then was none other than Shiva, the same person Arjun has come today to make pay for his actions. So this was Arjun's story with Vaishakhi. From there, the story returns to the present once again. The next day, Arjun was heading to Vizag to attend his friend's wedding. At the airport, he accidentally bumps into a girl, and the coffee in his hand spills onto her. He apologizes to her, but the girl says, "You don't need to say sorry, you must be in a hurry, it's okay." Seeing such kindness from her, Arjun forms a good impression of her immediately. Arjun was already feeling a bit guilty, so he buys a dress for her and gives it to her. There they introduce themselves to each other, and we come to know that her name is Phoebe. While talking, he also learns that Phoebe is going to Vizag as well, although their flights are different. Sitting on the plane, Arjun starts thinking to himself. After so much effort, he has finally found a girl who has at least one of the qualities he's been looking for. Maybe, just maybe, she might have the rest of the qualities too. After reaching Vizag, Arjun calls his friend and asks him to come pick him up. There his friend and his friend's wife come to receive him. Arjun tells them about Phoebe and says, "Bro, help me find her." But his friend replies, "What's the point of finding her? If she is missing even one of your required qualities, then all your effort will go to waste." Still, Arjun insists, "At least let's try once." So they stand outside the airport holding a board with Phoebe's name written on it. But they can't find any trace of her. After that, he starts searching for her in nearby restaurants around the airport, but he fails there as well. He even looks for her on social media, but there isn't any account with that name. Could it be that the girl gave him a fake name? Phoebe didn't seem very old. She was probably around 21 or 22 years old. She studies somewhere in the city's college. So Arjun decides to start his search from the college where his friend works as a teacher. As planned, he goes there. Inside the college cafe, when they order coffee, the customers' names are written on the cups. Arjun asks the boy at the coffee shop if he knows anyone named Phoebe in the college. The boy replies, "Yes, she was just here a little while ago and had coffee." To be sure, Arjun checks the dustbin, and there he finds a cup with the name Phoebe written on it. After that, they start searching for Phoebe here and there, but they can't find her anywhere. Just then, the boy from the coffee shop calls out from behind and says, "Phoebe is right over there." Finally, they manage to find her. Arjun stands at a distance just looking at her. At that moment, his friend says, "Hey, this girl's name is Ira, not Phoebe. And she's much younger than you." But Arjun replies, "Where is it written that you can't fall in love with a girl just because she's younger?" Without wasting any more time standing at a distance, Arjun goes up to her. He asks her about Phoebe. "Who is Phoebe? And why did you tell me a false name? Is your name actually Ira?" Then Ira explains that Phoebe is her favorite anime character, and she wants to be like that character. After that, they start talking about various things while having coffee. And remember, her real name is Ira, so from now on I will call her Ira. Ira asks him, "Did you really come all this way just to find me?" Arjun replies, "You can think of it that way." Then they continue talking for a while. During their conversation, Arjun cleverly tries to figure out whether she has those 5 qualities he's been looking for. She had already passed the first one earlier, and she ends up passing 3 more as well. Ira talks nicely with everyone in her college.
And her way of thinking is extremely positive. She can even understand what a person is feeling just by looking into their eyes from a distance. Now, only one quality remained. Before leaving, Ira gives Ira her Instagram ID so that they can meet again in the future, because she could see from Arjun's eyes that he wanted to see her again. The next day, Arjun goes to the college once more. This time, he brings chocolates with him. Seeing the chocolates, Ira says, "Are you trying to impress me?" Then she keeps the entire box of chocolates for herself, which makes Arjun's face completely fall, like a team that loses in the finals after winning every previous match. But at that moment, Ira comes closer and says, "I wasn't impressed at all. Not by the chocolates, nor by the dress. We girls get impressed by a boy's effort." Hearing this, Arjun feels an indescribable joy. After all these years, he has finally found the girl he has been searching for. But Ira still hasn't been impressed. On the other hand, the day of her departure to the USA is approaching. Amidst all this, Arjun makes a decision. He will propose to her today itself. After class, he takes Ira to the seaside, where he opens his heart to her and proposes marriage. But Ira refuses, saying, "I still don't know you properly, and we are complete opposites. It can't work that way." Arjun tries to explain to her that no one in the world is a perfect match for anyone. It's about understanding each other. But Ira responds, "That's why you should spend time with me," and reminds him that he will be leaving in just a few days. After searching so long, Arjun feels that he has finally found the perfect girl for himself, and he doesn't want to lose her so easily. So he cancels his plan to go to the USA and even joins the college as a math professor. He goes as a replacement to teach Ira's class, taking over his friend's class so he can be near her. After class, Arjun approaches Ira because she had spent the whole lecture half asleep. He tells her that he has given up both his career and his job just to be close to her. Ira tries to make him understand that what he's doing is madness, but Arjun refuses to listen. However, discussing all this openly in class feels a bit awkward, so they go and sit in a park. There, Ira shares an example from her childhood about her parents, saying, "When I was little, my father used to pamper me a lot, but my parents' relationship wasn't very good. When I was little, I would fall asleep while they, my parents, would start arguing about all sorts of things. To stop their fights, I would stop sleeping at night, but it didn't help much. A few days later, they got divorced. But the problem didn't end there. It started for me. Since that time, even until today, I cannot sleep properly at night. I have to take sleeping pills every night. If someone looks at me from the outside, I may seem happy and smiling, but inside, I am completely shattered. The qualities you see in me, I have cultivated them myself, because people like to see me that way." Hearing this, Arjun doesn't get confused by Ira's words. Instead, he takes her to a place where clothes are being washed and hung out in the sun to dry. Arjun tells Ira, "Bring all the clothes together and hang them on one rope." Ira follows his instruction and gathers all the clothes on a single rope, causing it to sag heavily under the weight. Then Arjun says, "Our life is like this rope. If we hold on to old bad memories, our life will sag just like this. That's why we should forget the past days and move forward. We should enjoy life." Ira is somewhat touched by Arjun's words. Truly, she has been hurting herself by dwelling on her past and is wasting both her present and her future. The world doesn't give everything to everyone. Fate doesn't grant everything to all, and no human is ever 100% good. There will always be some flaws, and we have to learn to accept them. Even her father was not without faults. From then on, Ira starts spending time with Arjun. They visit different places together, and gradually she begins to like him. She no longer needs sleeping pills at night, and as time passes, the day finally arrives when Ira openly talks about marriage. At that moment, Arjun brings out a box and says, "When I was a child, I liked a girl. I got this for her, but for some reason, I could never give it to her. I had decided that I would give it to the one I marry." It's the first time Ira learns that Arjun had a love story in his past, but it doesn't bother her. Now, Arjun's biggest challenge is to convince Ira's mother. So he goes with his pregnant sister to a restaurant to meet Ira and her mother. But when he arrives, what he sees will shock you. As I mentioned in the beginning, Ira's mother is none other than Arjun's senior crush from his childhood, Vaishakhi, whose love story he had shared with everyone. Seeing her, Arjun immediately rushes to the restroom. He fears that if Vaishakhi recognizes him, he doesn't know what will happen. In his anxiety, he starts clenching his teeth. His sister teases him, saying, "All those girls you rejected over the years, maybe their curses have come back to haunt you." Arjun wants to run away from there, but he also has no idea how to respond to Ira. Amidst all this chaos, he finds himself in a serious dilemma. He cannot reveal everything to Ira. Because if Aira finds out that her mother is Arjun's childhood crush, she would never agree to marry him. Meanwhile, Aira calls them on the phone, asking where they are and why they haven't arrived yet. Arjun somehow manages the situation and replies, "I've run into a little trouble, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Then Arjun puts on sunglasses and enters the restaurant. He does this because he cannot lie while looking directly into Vaishakhi's eyes. But with sunglasses on, their eyes won't meet. Aira then introduces Arjun and his sister to her mother. Here, she introduces Arjun as her university senior. During the conversation, suddenly Aira's mother says to Arjun, "Your face looks somehow familiar. I feel like I've seen it somewhere." Hearing this, Arjun's heartbeat races. She's recognized me, he thinks. But he manages to handle it and replies calmly, "Sometimes you see people with similar faces. It's no problem. Maybe the same has happened with you." Then Vaishakhi says, "Aira told me she was bringing me to meet a senior, but seeing you, it seems like you are her teacher." Then Arjun says, "I am not that old, but my face makes me look much older. Look at you and Aira. It feels like you're two sisters, but you're mother and daughter, right?" Amidst all this talk, Arjun still cannot bring himself to say the main thing. Aira signals with her eyes for him to talk to her mother about marriage, but every time Arjun tries, he looks into her mother's eyes and his courage vanishes instantly. Now he has to say something, right? So he invites both Aira and her mother to an event. Hearing this, Aira gets extremely angry. After returning from there, Arjun develops a fever of 105 degrees. He is always anxious, afraid that Aira might somehow find out the truth. But his sister reassures him, saying, "How will she ever know if we never tell her?" At that moment, they remember the earring, the one he had given Aira that day. If her mother sees it even once, she will remember everything and understand the whole situation. So that very night, he goes to the area below Aira's house and calls her, saying he has something urgent to discuss. Curious why Arjun would come at such a late hour with an urgent matter, Aira secretly brings him inside her room. Once inside, Arjun waits for the right opportunity. But Aira wasn't leaving his side for a moment. So Arjun cleverly tells her, "I'm really thirsty. Can you bring me some water?" As Aira goes to get water, he uses the opportunity to check the drawers in the room, searching for that earring. Arjun notices a small box on top of the wardrobe. Just as he is about to open it, Aira re-enters the room. To manage the situation, Arjun says, "I was looking at your childhood memories." Aira corrects him, saying, "These aren't my childhood memories, they are my mother's childhood memories." Curious, Arjun searches through those memories of her mother, Vaishakhi, and finds some papers. As soon as he looks at them, he realizes that these letters aren't from anyone else. They are the very letters he had sent to Vaishakhi during her college days. Seeing that Vaishakhi had carefully preserved them until now, Arjun freezes completely. At that moment, some noise comes from downstairs. Aira goes to see what it is, and taking advantage of that, Arjun quickly searches for the earring again. He opens Aira's college bag and finds the earring. Holding it in his hand, he lets out a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, there was no actual plan for any ceremony regarding his sister's wedding. But since Arjun had already sent out the invitation, the event now had to happen. So he calls his father and tells him to arrange the baby shower ceremony after the upcoming delivery. And they set the next Friday for the event. As the day of the ceremony approaches, Arjun instructs all his friends and his sister not to mention Vaishakhi's name at all. In their village, everyone knows that Arjun had a childhood crush named Vaishakhi, and because of her, he had not married until now. Even his father must not find out her name. According to the plan, Aira and her mother arrive, and Arjun and his sister introduce them, saying, "This is Aira's mother." At some point, if anyone asks her mother's name, his sister skillfully manages the situation with some improvised response. Arjun and Aira are talking together, when suddenly Aira gets angry at Arjun. She asks why he is afraid to talk to her mother about marriage. Her father also starts questioning him. "What happened? Why aren't you telling her about the marriage?" After all this pressure, Arjun finally loses his patience. He goes straight to Aira's mother and says, "I like your daughter. I want to marry her." Aira's mother then responds, "All this time the identity you gave me was false. You are not Aira Senior."
The only reason I was invited to this event was clear, to propose marriage. Arjun doesn't say anything. He just stands there silently. At that moment, Aira's mother immediately takes Aira and leaves the place. When they return home, Aira tries to explain to her mother that Arjun truly loves her. "If you don't believe me, go to the balcony. You'll see, Arjun might be standing outside," she says. Hearing this, her mother goes to the balcony and sees that Arjun is indeed standing outside, waiting for her daughter. Seeing this, she comes back inside and tells Aira, "From tomorrow, you won't go anywhere alone. I will always be with you." She believes that love lasts only until marriage, and after that, all the problems begin. Anyway, later when Aira comes to meet Arjun on the balcony, Vaishakhi immediately brings her inside. Arjun then tries in every possible way to convince Vaishakhi, but none of his efforts work. At one point, frustrated, Vaishakhi goes directly to speak with her father. There, Vaishaki's father tells him that a boy had also disturbed her when she was a child. I've seen your situation, and now I'll also be looking out for my granddaughter. I am watching this closely, Vaishaki says. Then she calls Arjun aside and threatens him, warning that he must stay away from Ira's life. If you don't, I'll have to take another course of action. Look at your age and then look at my granddaughter's age, she adds. But none of these words faze Arjun, because he hasn't fallen in love with a student. He became a teacher to earn her love. And when threats are made, Arjun confidently says, I am not the kind of boy who'll be scared by all this. As he tries to leave, a few goons attack him, but Arjun fights them off like a cricket ball being hit across the boundary, sending each one flying. Meanwhile, Ira starts breaking things inside the room because she has realized that her grandmother sent people to hurt Arjun. Vaishaki tries to explain to her saying, I was also a good student. Like all girls, boys started sending me love letters. Then one day, Vaishaki says, I was caught by my father. He took me out of school and married me off to an older man. I don't want your life to be like mine. But Ira replies, not all people are the same. If we start thinking everyone is alive, living itself will become unbearable. You and your father used to fight because you never truly loved each other. But Arjun loves me and I love Arjun. We try to understand each other. Now Ira manages to convince her mother to agree to the marriage. But before the wedding, she insists that Arjun undergo a medical checkup to ensure everything is fine. When the test reports arrive, everything is perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong at all. Afterwards, a date is set and their engagement takes place with all relatives from both sides present. During the engagement ceremony, Arjun's mother hands Vaishaki a tray, and on that tray is the earring that Arjun had gifted her back in his childhood. Seeing this, Vaishaki's suspicion begins to grow. Could this Arjun really be the same Arjun from her past? She decides to talk to him privately and says, don't lie to me again. Are you the Arjun who gave me that earring when I was a child? Arjun is completely stunned. Should he lie now or tell the entire truth? After a brief silence, he finally says, yes, I am that Arjun, the one who liked you when we were kids. Upon hearing the truth, Vaishaki feels as if she's fallen from the sky. She can hardly comprehend it. The boy who liked me back then is now going to marry my daughter? Before leaving, she tells Arjun to forget about Ira. In that instant, Arjun's carefully organized life shatters like a house of cards. He returns home and sits quietly, feeling downcast. Then Ira comes to him and says, why didn't you tell me earlier that you love my mother? This is making me laugh so much, you know. She realizes that Vaishaki must have told Ira everything, that this Arjun is indeed the same boy who liked her in childhood. Vaishaki might even be planning to stop this marriage.
Seeing Ira laugh, Arjun asks her, even after knowing all this, will you still marry me? Ira smiles and says, yes, my mother is your past, but I am your present. What's the problem? I will somehow convince my mother. Don't worry about that. Wow, every person needs a girlfriend like this in their life, right? One who can handle all the troubles completely on her own. At that moment, Arjun's friend sitting beside him says, you should have realized from the beginning that the girl you were looking for with those 5 qualities wouldn't be anyone close to Vaishaki. Then Ira asks, which 5 qualities? I don't know anything about this. He never asked me about these 5 qualities for him. Her friend explains the whole story to her in detail. After hearing it, Ira asks Arjun, so you fell in love with me by seeing these 5 qualities in me, the ones my mother had? If I didn't have these 5 qualities, you wouldn't have loved me? Seeing the situation getting out of control, Arjun's friend tries to calm her down. No, that's not the case at all. At first he was looking for those 5 qualities, but now he loves you a lot. Yet Ira still wants to hear the answer directly from Arjun. Meanwhile, Arjun stays silent. Seeing his silence, Ira doesn't have to wait long to guess what his answer might be, so she walks away crying. Arjun doesn't know what to do. If he goes after Ira, he will have to answer that question, and the answer is no. Meanwhile, Ira starts hurting inside. Just like Arjun's father, he never truly loved her for who she is. He only wanted a girl who possessed all 5 qualities, whether it was her or any other girl. She spends her time thinking this way. Seeing Arjun sitting gloomily, his sister tries to console him and explains, look, qualities change with time. They are not fixed in a person forever. You cannot choose someone only based on a set of qualities, and you cannot carry life forward simply holding on to those qualities. If ever, due to circumstances, a person's qualities, behavior or conduct change, will you leave them? Will your love for them end? Look at this. The qualities you admired in Baishakhi when you were a child, are those qualities still in her now? No, right? Then forget about those qualities. Bring Aira into your life. There is no one else like her. At that moment, Arjun realizes that what we truly love is the person's heart, not their qualities. But before going to Aira, he goes to Baishakhi and tells her, I never truly loved you. If I had, just like I found Shiva, I would have gone after you too to get you. I only admired your qualities, the same qualities I used to search for in every girl. Now I understand that everything changes with time, only love remains constant. I have truly loved Aira, not her qualities, but her, and now I understand that perfectly. Baishakhi finally believes him. Arjun is perfect for his girl. Later in the exam hall, he gives Aira that earring and says, I've realized my mistake. I didn't love the 5 qualities. I loved you, and I will continue to love you. Then he places the ring on the table and walks away. Arjun has realized his mistake. Seeing this, Aira drops her exam paper and runs straight to Arjun, planting a kiss on his cheek. A few days later, perhaps their wedding will take place with grand celebrations, and Arjun will be able to call his ex-cash mother-in-law. And with that, our story for today comes to an end. You can share how you felt about today's story. I've also noticed for a long time that the channel's subscribers aren't increasing much, so those who haven't subscribed yet can go ahead and subscribe. And the like button is still down there. Go ahead and hit it. Another video has popped up on the screen, a really interesting story. You can click and start watching it if you want. Finally, thank you so much for following the story all the way to this point.